Okay, this is one there's designers are gonna be writing in. They're gonna be like, no, okay? Designers everywhere. Just close your ears if you don't want to hear this. There are a lot of things that I think you should upgrade in your home. Things that I think are worth investing in. Things like your faucets, things like your door handles, things like cabinet pulls and sofa, your furniture, the stuff you're gonna really touch on a daily basis. There are certain things that your money is well spent when you buy the highest quality that you can afford. And then there's other things that even if you bought the most high quality item that there is, you could probably find something that would cost a lot less and still give you an amazing effect. So the upgrade may give you a little bit better quality, but the difference between the two isn't enough if you're working on a tight budget to make it worth investing your money in that. So today I want to talk about some of the key ways that I see people spending their money in the wrong way, upgrading the wrong things in the house. And I want to share those things that I think that you can save on rather than upgrading. And I'm gonna share with you how to do it today. So I hope this video will be really helpful, really inspiring, and really get your juices flowing, and also be a resource, because I think it can be overwhelming when you go to do a room or you go to redo an entire house and you're having to try to figure out where those dollars are gonna go. And so yeah, I hope it's gonna be really helpful. Hit subscribe so you do not miss out on upcoming content, because if you're anything like us, you might find yourself being someone who just loves to talk about decorating, interior design, renovations, all that kind of stuff. We do it all here, and we hope we keep our community really inspired. So let's jump into today's video. So let's talk about those things, shall we? The first thing that I think is one of the things that you don't have to upgrade. You don't need to spend an exponentially high amount of money on are the blankets in your home. I really think that you can shop at places like H&M and Amazon and even Target to find really great blankets. We're talking about throw blankets mostly here. Throw blankets that you're gonna have laying over the arm of your sofa, you're gonna have in a chair, maybe you're gonna throw one down on the bed as a decor item. These typically are not things that you have to invest in. Quality of the items that you're able to get on a really tight budget are actually really high. So if you're working on a super tight budget, of course, if you have lots of money to spend, right? We can tell you where to buy the more expensive blankets. Like I think sometimes with the fur blankets, buying the more expensive one from somewhere like Pottery Barn, you'll get a little bit higher quality and you'll see a difference between that and one from Target. But we're talking about cashmere, Hermes blankets, right? Like really higher end blankets that cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars rather than a less than $100 difference. Big time items here, right? So when you think about it, that H&M blanket compared to the Hermes blanket, it's not gonna be the same fabric. It's not gonna be the same fabric. It's not gonna be made in the same way. However, the visual of it and the function of it is gonna be, to me, this is the part where I would save money. Another thing that I've seen a lot, because if you guys remember, we work in real estate and design. And so we are in houses a lot. And so we see what people have spent their money on. They decide to upgrade their homes, they decide to do a bathroom renovation, or they decide to do a kitchen renovation, or a bathroom renovation, and somebody convinces them that they need to tile every surface. A lot of contractors will try to convince you that you need to tile all of the walls in your bathroom. And if you're gonna tile the floor in your basement, you need to take that tile off the wall. They'll say that about your kitchen, that you need to tile the entire backsplash. You need to go all the way up to the ceiling. See, the thing is that going and doing that actually isn't a bad thing. It does look nice to tile the entire wall. That's a feature that you're able to do. But if you're working on a tight budget, you don't have to do that in order to have a beautiful finish on your walls. You don't have to do that to get a great feeling in the entire bathroom. Of course, you'll need to tile spaces that are gonna be wet, like the shower, but you don't have to tile all the way behind the tub. That was one of the things that my contractor kept arguing with me, that I needed to tile behind the tub. And I was like, look, it's just me. And I'm not gonna be splashing around and having a big party in my tub like that, okay? It's just me. And yeah, I'll stop there. But occasionally my husband. But even still, we're not gonna get water all over the walls. We're just not. And so I don't need to upgrade that for that reason. So in the bathroom, in the kitchen, you don't have to do these things. And so I think it's a good question to ask yourself. I personally would upgrade the material and use less of it in the space rather than doing a less expensive material and putting it everywhere. Okay, this is one there's designers are gonna be writing in. They're gonna be like, no, okay? Designers everywhere. Just close your ears if you don't wanna hear this. I'm sorry. But if you are working on a really tight budget, you do not need to over upgrade. I'm using the word over upgrade your lighting. So when I moved into this house, the previous owner, literally the walls were crumbling, okay? There were holes in the gutters. The walls were in dire need of paint. There were actual holes in part of the roof and all these big problems with the house. She didn't spend any money on those. Instead, she spent $10,000 on a chandelier. I'm like, $10,000 on a chandelier that nobody wants. Okay, there you go. Still hanging from a stud down in my basement because I can't get rid of it because nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. Biggest waste of money. $10,000 put into a light like that, not worth it. $10,000 if you open up your favorite design book and you're like, eee, I love this light. $10,000, I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it. But am I gonna see the return on $10,000 for that light? Okay, that may not be the best money spent. Now, some people have the money for a $10,000 light. They're gonna be spending a couple $100,000 on a space or at least $100,000 on a room, and they're able to, it's not the only thing that they upgraded in the space, right? They didn't spend their entire budget on a light. I think there's a lot of pressure from designers. You guys can just be mad at me, I'm sorry. But I think a lot of designers can be a little bit snobby about lighting. And they're just like, oh, no, lighting has to be expensive. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't have to be expensive. Having more money means you have more options. And yes, sometimes they are higher quality. However, you're not gonna touch the light with your hands. You're not going to be moving it around all the time. It's not like the sofa that you sit on every day. So if you're working on a tight budget, spend the money on the mattress, spend the money on the bed, or the chair, or the sofa. But the light is somewhere that I would save money if we're working on a tight budget, because I think that the light is something that obviously don't buy a piece of junk that's gonna have to be replaced, that, you know, you don't want junk either. But I think that you don't have to spend your entire budget on the light so that you feel like you spent enough. Like it becomes designer now. I don't think that is what you should focus on. There are a lot of places that I shop for really great, still good quality lighting that is still really affordable. West Elm is one of my favorite places to go. Their lights are great. And I do spend money on lighting, even in my own home. But there are a lot of higher end designers who you need thousands and thousands of dollars for a chandelier. I shop at places like Regina Andrews. I've got a couple of her pieces in my home and they are more expensive, but they're not outrageous. Then you can work your way backwards because again, like West Elm, Amazon is a great place, and I buy lights from Home Depot. You just have to be picky about the finishes on them. You have to be more careful about the quality, really inspect those items and ask yourself, is this the best quality for the price that I'm spending? And I think if you can say yes, that is a better way to spend your money than, 10 grand. The whole project's gone and it's just a light in the room. Yeah, that's very minimalist. You really need to be a minimalist if that's gonna be you. All right, I am negating something that I have just said recently on one of my own videos, but I don't think that you have to spend money on custom curtains. There we go, there I said it, okay? Custom curtains are really nice, and custom curtains do make a difference. You just get to customize them. I mean, there's a big difference, right? If you have the money for custom curtains, you're going to get a better product. You just are. You're gonna able to put pleating into them. You're able to put amazing lining into them. You're gonna have a higher quality fabric. There's a lot of things about custom curtains that are wonderful. And sometimes you kind of need them. That's something that I've been dealing with in my own house because I have weird windows and I need a custom window treatment, whether it's a shade or a curtain, and I just need it. I saved up so that I could get the thing that I really needed. But sometimes you don't have to do that. So if you're working on a really tight budget and you just need some panels for your window, you don't have to go custom on those. You can, I've been shopping. In fact, let me show you. I just got these beautiful linen curtains off of Amazon. I have an entire Amazon storefront. If you want to shop my favorite items on Amazon, these come with the little curtain clips, and look at this fabric. It's a really, really nice, heavy linen. Ooh, sun's coming out. But yes, it's beautiful. Really nice, thick fabric. It's lined with the black out. It's got the tab, let's see, what's that? These do not have those little tabs at the top. That way you can really make them look more custom. I really think that you can do this and still have an amazing look in your space. I think curtains really do upgrade your space, so I do see that spending money on curtains is a valuable use of your money. But places like Amazon, I will list my Amazon storefront for you because I do have a lot of options. I've got linen, I've got, you can see like right here, I've got the velvet that I use in this room. I bought a lot of those off of Amazon, and I've even bought curtains off of IKEA. So I do think you can shop other places and get a really high quality item, high quality curtains, without having to break the bank. All right, this next one is probably gonna shock some of you because if you know me, you know that I love to buy beautiful accessories. I love to spend money on, like Arteriors is one of my favorite places to buy vases. And I love to buy artist-made items, artisanal vases. I love to buy straight from a designer. I love those pieces. But if you are working on a super tight budget, you do not have to buy those pieces. That, for me, investing in those pieces is a way for me to invest in that designer. It's a way of, really, it's about the uniqueness of that product, that it's something special that I just couldn't find anywhere else. And as a designer, of course, the minutia of those details is very important to me, and it's something that I really love. But when we're working on a tight budget, we don't spend crazy amounts of money on vases. Instead, I go to places like H&M Home. I go to places like Zara Home. You might have seen our Zara Home haul recently. We got some beautiful vases there. I go to places like Amazon all the time. Amazon does tend to sell out pretty quickly, but you can check out my storefront. I've got a lot of these items in there, but you can buy, look at this. Look at this one. This is a little planter off of Amazon. And even the vase from CB2, under $100 for a vase. Whereas if you go to any of the designer shops, you're talking hundreds of dollars. And I still love those vases. I still have those vases. But when we're working on a super tight budget, vases are usually one way that I not spend money, I save it. Okay, mirrors are another thing that I think there are some incredible options out there if you have a big budget. There is no doubt that a bigger budget will give you an incredible piece. You can really get some unique, amazing, interesting mirrors. But unless it's literally the centerpiece of the room and the entire design is around this mirror, I think it's something you can save money on, for sure. Even if it is a centerpiece, you can still do a lot with a mirror because mirrors in and of themselves are just a little trick to the eye, right? It expands light, it makes the space feel bigger. It's a very useful tool. And in and of itself, it feels like a luxury upgrade. But there are a lot of designs out there that are really cool and amazing. And if you have the budget for them, it's so much fun to be able to explore places like First Dibs, where you can go direct to an artist, get something that's one of a kind. It comes from a small design firm. I mean, you can just get so many cool things. But you can also shop at places like IKEA, right? Check out our IKEA video that we just did and our entire IKEA playlist. Honestly, if you're looking to save money and you're trying to get a more luxurious look, check out our IKEA playlist because I think you will find so many useful styling tips and also items that we think look amazing from there. But you can buy a simple mirror from somewhere like IKEA, somewhere like Amazon, somewhere like, sorry. I was like, somewhere like, I think places even like CB2, West Elm, those are more mid-range, but if you're really wanting to save money, you could also check out somewhere like Target. When it comes to big renovations, one of the mistakes that I see most often when we go and look at homes, I think bathrooms are one space that I see people way over upgrading. They just spend way too much money on tile. They spend way too much money on a fixture that doesn't look good. Ooh, I guess that's another video. Don't spend too much money on something that looks like a piece of junk. Hopefully that goes without saying. But one of the things that I see so often is that people over upgrade their landscaping. They write it down as an upgrade item. And they say, I spent $100,000 putting in plants, and you're like, ouch. Where? This is not good. Where's $100,000 worth of plants? They're like, oh, well, we put down some steps. And I'm like, how much did they charge you for the steps? Are they made of gold? I mean, sometimes people just get sucked in. And contractors are notorious for trying to upgrade you on stuff, right? Like, they're like, you need the gutter guards. And you're like, do I need the gutter guards? Or can I live without them and I'll have to pay for cleanings, right? Like, you have to think about the price on certain things that they're telling you you need to upgrade this on. Sometimes it's better to just go ahead and pay for the gutter guards, right? Because now you're not gonna have somebody coming over to clean up the leaves, keep an eye on it, worry about it getting clogged, blah, 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 worth the money. Spending, $1,000 per step on some like fine stone that's been imported from Italy, that is fantastic if you have a huge budget and this is a small piece of the overall project that you are doing. But if it's everything that you've got to spend to upgrade your house and the front door is gonna be falling apart because that needed an upgrade too, but you put all the money on the steps in the back, that's not a good use of money. And I see that all the time where people just get kind of sucked into the idea of the project and they just overspend. They overspend on the material themselves, or sometimes, it's just on plants that can die. Ooh, and they didn't put the sprinkler system in. Not good. Yeah, so I think really thinking through your upgrades, really thinking through, is it money that I'm gonna get back out compared to the overall cost of the entire house? Am I spending more on the backyard than the entire cost of the house? That's probably not good. That's probably not gonna be good. And sometimes when you go on Pinterest, maybe you guys don't deal with this. Maybe I'm just the only one. You can tell me. I will take it, okay? I will take it. I'm a strong girl, okay? I go on Pinterest and I start looking at all this stuff and I'm like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And then I'm like, ugh, did you see how much that cost? Yeah, that's the problem. See, that's the problem, is that I have a lot of ideas that I could have done to my house. I could have taken out all of the stairs. People come in all the time and they're like, why did you leave your fireplace? I'm like, because I love it. But I did actually consider taking it down and what could I do? And I had a client that literally wanted to remove every single baseboard, all the crown molding. They wanted to remove all the door frames. I mean, the amount of money that they were gonna spend on the shell of the house, it was like, you should just buy a different house. I mean, there's just no way you will ever see a return on that kind of money spent here. And they saw it too. They were just like, yeah, no, we can't spend $60,000 redoing the trim work, like not in this neighborhood. And so I think it can be hard. I think it can be hard because you can get really sucked in. I do. I get sucked in and I want to do some really cool, amazing things, but you have to consider whether it's something you can afford. You have to consider whether it's something that you can, that you can actually do in your neighborhood and you're going to see the money back. Those are just a a few free little tips from me. But there's one last thing that I think that you could potentially save money on, and it's not something that you have to upgrade, and that is art. And designers just went, I didn't even give a warning. All right, okay. I don't think that you have to spend all that money on art. Is it nice to spend money on art? Why, yes. Yes, it is. Absolutely. If you have a big budget and you can upgrade your art, obviously you could get something absolutely amazing for your home. Something from an artist. It's a one of a kind. It's some vintage piece by, who so-and-so, right? Like, there is so much amazing art in this world. And I think it's enviable if somebody has the money to invest in an artist like that and to promote their work and to celebrate that artistry and that ability. Like, that's incredible. But not everybody has that kind of money. So if you've got the choice between getting the whole room done or one piece of art, it may just not be in the cards for you. And I think that sometimes we can feel a little bit guilty about it. I do. I totally do. I'm like, my art should be more expensive. But you don't have to spend $10,000 on a piece of art to get something that's amazing. We were just at Home Goods, just bought a piece of art. It's gorgeous. Is it the most highly upgraded piece of art on the planet? Obviously, no. It's from Home Goods. It cost $150. I know what it is, but it also is still a huge piece of art. It's still gonna upgrade my room. It's still got brush strokes on it, and it's framed canvas. It still looks really good. It's still really gonna upgrade my space. It's gonna give me a beautiful room for me to sleep in at night if I decide to put it in my bedroom. I haven't decided yet. But I do think that you don't have to spend all of your money on art. If you have it, obviously, the things you can get, right? Like, it's amazing and fun. It's so much fun when you have a nice big budget. But you can also DIY your own artwork. I have some videos on here where I've DIY'd some artwork. And a recent Amazon Live, you can't see it right now, is trying to keep the sun out of here because it got super sunny. You can see my piece of artwork back here. I will link to the Amazon Live. I showed you guys how I made that live on the video, or live on the live. I don't know how it works. It's filmed, it's recorded now, and so you can go back and watch it. But I showed how I made that art piece with DIY products. Like, it takes a couple minutes and, like, I don't know, less than $50 for the entire project. So you can make your own art. You can buy things at places like Home Goods. You can go to places, even Pottery Barn, right? Like, let's be honest, in the scheme of art, Pottery Barn is a lot less expensive than, a one-of-a-kind off of First Dibs or Cherish or, Christie's. I mean, I like going to places like that. I love to be able to find art like that. And when my clients have budgets that are really big, it is fun. You can really do a lot. But there's plenty of other places you can shop. And I even have an entire category on my Amazon for the storefront over there for art. So there's a lot of places you can go. There's a lot of ways that you can save money. And so I just wanted to put this out there because I just feel like a lot of times people feel like I see your comments. I see what you say. I see that you're working on really tight budgets, and I've always worked on a tight budget for my own home, always. And so I just thought maybe it would just give you a little bit of relief that you are allowed to not always invest in every single thing in your house. But I do think that investing it wisely will help you out, because if you spend the money on the furniture and the stuff you're gonna touch constantly, that is a better use of your money. And then always try to look for the highest quality of what you can afford in the other categories. So I'm gonna leave some links for you so you can check them out, do a little bit of shopping. If you're thinking about buying anything from these categories, it'll give you loads of inspiration. Don't forget, you can also check out my LTK. On that app, I have a ton of mood boards, and I really mix high and low. That's how I like to design a space, because I'm usually working with clients that do have budgets, and I mean, everybody has a budget, right? I mean, maybe if you're Oprah, you can have whatever you want, but even she's reinvested her money back in magazines and stuff, right? Even she has a budget, okay? So everybody has a budget. stay within yours. I think that's really important. Save up for the things that really matter, and then, you know, save on the things that maybe you can get away with saving a little bit more on. But I will leave the LTK app for you, the link down below. I'll leave the Amazon storefront link for you so you can check all that out. I hope that today has been inspiring and really got you just kind of excited about decorating your rooms and rethinking your approach. Maybe you can go ahead and redo a space instead of waiting 10 years to save up for it. Maybe you can just go ahead and make some changes, maybe even some in the meantime. So cheers, you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for stopping in, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.